Well, hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to my channel. I am Brian, and today I wanted to go over with you girls and guys a few different flashlights that I just picked up. I was looking for some to put in the camper, keep in the camper, and I wanted rechargeable batteries, and so I wouldn't have to worry about keeping batteries in the camper, keeping it stored in the garage. Those batteries are getting hot and cold and leaking and all that mess. So I wanted really good rechargeable batteries. I don't know if these are really good, but they're not top of the line. They're not budget friendly. They're kind of right in the middle. So they're mainly NEBOs, and I got a Coast flashlight, and I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through each one that I got and then do an outside test out here in the sticks, out in the backyard, because I live in the suburbs. So I'll have to do a night test on the side of my house, show you guys what it looks like at night. I don't live out in the country, unfortunately, so I'll try to do as best as I can to kind of depict what these things do at nighttime as well. So with that, let's start off with this little Nemo Slim. This is not, they have a newer one, a 1200 lumen. This one's the model just before that, but it's the Nemo Slim. And this thing's pretty cool. It's not necessarily like a spotlight. This is more of a little floodlight, and it is rechargeable. It's 500 lumens. So, and this is the red model. They have silver, black, blue, I think, but it's really thin. It's got a magnetic clip back here, so you can clip this if you want, you know, to your shirt. If I had a pocket that had an opening, but clip it to your shirt, your belt loop, whatever, a bag, and it's got a pretty good little floodlight on it. So I'll show this to you at night, obviously, but it's real simple. It's got one button, on and off. You don't have to toggle through a bunch of different settings, different light modes. You click it and it's on. And it is dimmable though, so to do that, in order, you turn it on and you just hold the power button, and you can see it to slowly start to dim, and it'll blink. Once it blinks, that means it's at its lowest setting, so you don't have to guess, am I at as low as it can go? So that's as low as it can get, and I believe the lowest output is 50 lumens. That's 10% of the power. And if you want it back up to the highest lumens, you just simply hold the power button again, and it slowly starts to graduate up, and it'll flash, and that's at your highest 100% power at 500 lumens. Now, if you want it anywhere in between, when you're holding the power, you just press and hold it, and it'll start dimming, and you let go, and it's gonna stay there. And it does have a memory, so when you cut it off and cut it back on, it's gonna stay at this setting. So really cool little light. I believe you can take this, don't quote me on it, but there's just some screws holding on this clip, some Phillips head screws, so I believe you could take this clip off and it would be even more slim. But this will fit in your pocket perfect. And it's just a floodlight for when you're walking around at night. You know, you don't need a hot spot of light on anything. Perfect. I think I'm really gonna like this, and again, it's rechargeable. But here's some night shots of this thing so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like at night here. The Nemo Slim. And I'm telling you what, guys, this is a cool little light. This is max. I'm gonna hold it, go down to the min. That's the min. I'm gonna hold it and go back to the max. Man, this thing is awesome. Okay, so the next NEBO light I got is this little, it's called the NEBO Worklite 2. And this is another more of a floodlight type light. Again, it's got the magnetic base and it swivels. So you could stick this on anything that's magnetic and kind of angle it to whatever you want. It does have a flashlight in the front and a floodlight in the back. And let me get the specs for you. So the floodlight is 220 lumens. And it's not high or low, it's just 220 lumens. A simple press of this orange button in the front turns that floodlight on. Press it again, and it's got a 120 lumen focus light in the front to use more as your standard flashlight type thing. What I like about this, again, is that it doesn't put out a hot spot of light. So if you're in a camper, if you're in a tent, if you're walking down a wooded path trying to go find a good spot to pee, whatever, this is just going to cast a nice big light, okay? And that's kind of what I was looking for, and especially for my kids at night. I don't want them having a big 3,000 lumen spotlight that they're going to be using at night, shooting in someone's tent, scaring the crap out of them. I just want a little light that they can use to help them see at night. And I think this fits the bill, and I do like that it's got the magnetic base that you can stick it. I don't have anything magnetic, but you know, stick it anywhere and then tilt this however you want it. And it does have a little safety feature in the back. It's got 3 little red LEDs, and I think this says on a single charge it lasts for like 600 hours, something crazy. But I don't think I'll ever really use this. The kids might as a, like, just because it's cool looking, I guess, but you just press it and it cuts on and off. So this is a really simple light to operate, especially as a kid. Again, it's just one button. That floodlight comes on, one button, the flashlight comes on, and it does have a little hook on this thing too, so you can hook it up to anything if you can't find anywhere to use this magnetic base. So it does have a hook, and it stands up pretty good on its own, you know, so it should get the job done if you don't have anything magnetic. So you can see it stands up pretty well. And again, this one is also rechargeable. So here's what this thing looks like at night. This is the NEBO Worklite 2. And this does not have any power settings. This is just on or off, and it's still plenty of light to get everything lit up that you need. Here's the torch light on the front. And the little red blinky thing that's on the back. Okay, sticking with the theme of the day, here is another NEBO light, and this is the NEBO Big Larry. It's not the Big Larry 2, it's not the Big Larry Pro. This is just the original Big Larry that uses standard alkaline batteries. And again, one button press, and this is another one of the floodlight type flashlights, but button on top, nice rubberized button on top. It's just a cool light. I love it. You'll see it at night. It puts out an insane amount of light. It's 500 lumens on the high setting. It is on the low setting, we're looking at 160 lumens. And honestly, you'll see at night, the 160 lumen setting is more than enough to get you where you want to go in the dark. The 500 lumens is kind of overkill. And it's got your red flashing warning. I'll probably never use this unless I get stuck on the side of the road and I think to use this, but this is more of a gimmick to me. I probably won't use it. The only thing I do not like about this light is you have to cycle through all of the modes to turn it off. I think that's kind of annoying. I would like to see like a hard, you know, a 2 or 3 second press that would completely shut the flashlight off, but you have to cycle through all the modes to get it to turn off. That's the only bad thing, but so it's a pretty solid little flashlight. It's aircraft grade aluminum, anodized aluminum. It takes, again, just your standard alkaline batteries, 3 of them. It is weather sealed. It's got an O-ring on the tail cap here. And this also has a magnetic base. It's like NEBO's has a theme with their magnetic bases, but it makes it real beneficial if you're, you know, doing work on your car. Stick it anywhere that's magnetic, and it's going to provide, again, just a nice broad light. It's not going to be a hot spot of light where sometimes, you know, you're using a flashlight with a hot spot and it's too bright, you can't see, so you kind of have to move it over, flood washed out area of the beam pattern to actually see what you're doing. This is just going to put out just a nice even spread of light. So this is a really cool light. I do like it. It feels really good. It feels like it's made with quality, I guess. So we will take a look at this thing here at night so you can kind of get an idea of what this one does. We got the Big Larry. This is at the highest setting, the 500 lumen. And again, this thing just puts out such a perfect light. It illuminates everything that in your vicinity that you would need. That's high. This is going to be the low lumens. And again, to save battery life, I would probably use this because it still provides plenty of light to get around. And you got your gimmicky red flasher. It's bright though. If you do ever need it in an emergency, this would be nice because it is bright. Next Nebo light is the Nebo Slyde King 2K. This thing is pretty cool. I've had the original Slyde Nebo that I got probably 8 or 9 years ago, and I still use it, but this one's just a little more rugged. It's 2000 lumens on turbo mode, so it's a little bit brighter. And again, rechargeable. This is IP67 water rated, and it's just a beefy light. So where should I start? And a couple of modes on this thing. So when you hit the Nebo rubberized button up top here, it's going to cut on high, and to lower it to the setting, just like the other Nebos, you press and hold it for a few seconds and it starts to dim and it's going to blink, letting you know it's at the lowest setting. If that's not enough, press and hold it again, and you can either let it ramp back up all the way to its highest setting and then you're there, or anywhere in between. As soon as you let go, that's where the light's going to stay at. So kind of right in the middle, let go. Now, what makes this a slide is when you open this thing up, the work light function turns on automatically. So you can use this, again, as more of like your Big Larry floodlight, but it's integrated into a pretty powerful spotlight as well. So, and this again has more functions. Stay on red pattern, and your flashing red, and your flood. And you can close it back, hit the switch again, and you got your standard flashlight. And this thing is crazy bright. I'll show that to you guys here in just a second, but it is, again, more than I'm ever gonna need. But it's, if you do need it, it's there. It's crazy bright. To charge it, it's just a USB-C input on the side with a rubber boot that covers it up. So that is weather sealed. And when it's charging, this will turn green when it's done charging, the power button. So you'll know that it's done charging. It's not just, you're not just guessing. So this is the Nebo 2K Slyde. Pretty cool little light. So this is what it looks like at night, if you're wondering. Let's take a look. Okay, now we've got our Nebo 2K Slyde, and this thing is just insane, the amount of light that it puts out. That's high. Let's go. Keep the button pressed, get to low. That's going to be low. I'm going to press the button, get back to high. Okay. I'm going to twist the knob to get to more of a focused light. So it gets down to a pretty pinpoint light if you need it. Crazy bright. And the work light, I'm just going to pull it out. And again, just like all the other ones, provides just enough ample light to help you figure out where you're going. The red pattern, blinking red, high. So when you close this thing up, turn it back on, and I tell you, with this full open, full flood pattern, I hope you guys can get this. I mean, it just stops at the edges. There's no bleed out or any kind of washing on the edges. It's crazy good. I love this light. And this is a non-NEBO. This is a Coast. Okay, this is the XP11R. And this thing, at its highest setting is 2100 lumens. It's got a medium, high, a low, and a turbo. The turbo is the 2100 lumens. And I think you probably get about 30 minutes of runtime on that, but I don't think you'll ever need that much. But one of the cool things about this light is it's rechargeable, and you can use, it comes with a carousel for standard alkaline batteries. So let's get this out, and it comes obviously with a flashlight, charging cables, and then your carousel for your AAA batteries. So if you're in a spot where you can't recharge it and you happen to have AAAs on hand, you can use this to power the light. So it's just another, I have a few Coast lights, and they're actually really good lights. Tail switch button. It starts off on medium, click it again, goes to high, then goes to low, and then goes to off. If you want it on the turbo mode, the 2100 lumen mode, turn it on and keep and press and holding it, and you can see it ramp up. That's your 2100 lumens. You're gonna drain your battery with this, but if you ever need that much light, it is there for you. And the tail switch lights up. Hope you guys can kind of see that. It's green, indicating that your battery level is full. It will change colors, letting you know, giving you an indication of the battery level. Green is full, red is low, flashing is empty. So when it gets to red, it's probably at 50%. There's probably more details on that in the directions that I haven't read, but it'll kind of give you an indication of where you're at. And this is kind of like a one-handed focus to flood, so it's just, it doesn't have a lot of travel. It's about a ½ an inch to go from spot. You can pull it in with just one hand to go to flood. And then if you want to kind of lock it in place, you just twist it, and you can hear it click, and it's going to kind of keep it locked in. Twist it back, and it'll go back in and out to flood and spot. And it's an easy one-handed operation. There is no clip on this thing, but it does come with a lanyard. And to charge it, you unscrew the tail cap, and it's got another USB-C input. So I like the fact that it's USB-C, and there's a little LED light on here that when you plug it in, it's red, and when it's fully charged, it will be green, letting you know that it's got a complete charge on it. It's aircraft aluminum, feels built like a tank. These things, again, I've had a few Coasts in my lifetime, and I still have them, and they're still working just fine. And I think this is just the right size to keep, especially if you're wearing like cargo pockets, cargo pants. It'll fit in the side of your cargo pants just nice, just fine. Front pocket's probably a little too big, but to keep in the camper or to keep next to your table at night or next to your chair out in the woods, I think it's a perfect little size, and this thing will have put off more than enough light for what you'll ever need. So here's the Coast XP11R in the night. The Coast XP11R. This is going to be the medium setting. Press it once, it goes to the high. And that's going to be your low. And for fun, let's put it on turbo. That's turbo. And that's lighting up the top of these 45-foot trees probably. Let's get it off of turbo, and I'm gonna twist, get it in flood mode. So this is the flood mode on high lumens, and you can hopefully tell it's just a nice big broad area of light this thing puts out. So overall, guys, again, all of these lights are amazing. I think they're gonna do me well, so hope that helped. Okay, hope that kind of helped you guys out a little bit. I know I live in the city. I don't have acreages to go test out beam distance or whatever, but in real world use, that's gonna be how I'm gonna use these lights. So I had intentions of just picking a few and sending the rest back, and I'll be damned if I can't find one that I want to return. So I'm probably just going to keep all of these things because I think they're all going to have their use. I really like this Nemo Slim. This thing is a cool light. And it's the cheapest out of all of them. I think this was $24. This is just a really, really cool light. And this light's going to be great for the kids. It's easy to operate. It's not blinding when you look at it. So if the kids happen to turn it on and it's in their face, it's not going to, you know, blind them. And it's rugged. It's got a nice rubber exterior. And again, it does kind of swivel back and forth. Just a nice little light. And it does, again, have the little torch up front. So I think this will be great for the kids. And then these three are more mine. So again, this little Larry, or sorry, the Big Larry light, I just love the light pattern it puts out. It just covers such a wide range of light. It's just, there's nothing you can't see with it unless it's 100 feet away. In which case I've got this NEBO Slyde King 2K or this Coast XP11R. So there you go, guys. If you're looking at any of these, I think they're all a good option. I don't think you're going to go wrong with any of them. The only thing I'll say is on the slyde, on the NEBO slyde, and on my original NEBO slyde, which I actually have right here. This is the original NEBO slyde that I have. And it still works. There's no batteries in it. But the only thing that I've noticed on the slyde is that it does get a little easy to open. And it doesn't collapse on you unless you know, force it. It was a lot tighter when I first got it. It still works fine, but the slide friction seems to wear out after some use. But this is about 8 years old, so take that as you will. This slide mechanism, I can tell, is a lot more, and it does cut on automatically, as you see, and it cuts off automatically. But it's a lot more. I can feel the friction a lot more in this new one, and it's probably going to wear out. I mean, that's just nature of the beast of this type of flashlight, but it's just a cool light. Heavy. It's not an ultralight backpacking flashlight, but it's still a really good light. So that's my review of some everyday flashlights that you guys might be interested in that won't break the bank. Not a single one of these flashlights was over $60. The most expensive was this Coast. It was $58 on Amazon. And I'll put a link for all of these that I bought. If you're interested, it's just easy for you to click that link and go find them, because some of these model numbers get a little finicky. But anyway, guys, that's my review for these flashlights that I'm going to be putting in my brand new camper that we're going to be taking out here hopefully pretty soon. And I'll actually get a better test with these things out in away from city lights where it's actually dark. So guys, until next time, take care, and we will talk soon. See ya.